More of the biggest hits and greatest memories with Mike Bennett on 101 FM.
We'll be giving away some prizes for that Beanley Bowls Club in a little while from now. So I love it when we have guests who are easy on the eye. And we've certainly got one of them this morning with Maria Lidis. Welcome to 101 FM.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, always a pleasure. And Maria, first of all, Happy New Year. We haven't seen you for ages.
I know. It's been that long.
But you've had 3 weeks off.
I have.
And that's what you got to do. When you run your own business, you got to take time off, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. The switch off time and the switch off button is so important just to rejuvenate and reignite and get the energy going. So ready for 2017.
And it's going to be a big year for you. And it's really interesting because we were we've been chatting for months and ages. And obviously I filmed your event, which is fascinating. For people that don't know, I guess you sort of woke up one morning, thought, I don't want to do the corporate stuff anymore. And you had a mission to just get women to be better than they were before. Is that the kind of thing?
Well, I think, yeah, pretty much in that way, exactly. Women come to a stage in their life where they kind of start to question who they are and what they like and what do they want to do. And it's quite sad when you find yourself turning 40, 50 or 60 and you don't know what you want to be when you grow up.
Sure, yeah. And you know, we all have that because, you know, and it's interesting, obviously we're talking about women this morning, but men are the same. You kind of wake up one day and think, is this it? Is this what I've been put on the planet for? I guess that's why a lot of men make career changes later on in life. But with women in particular, there's other things. They've got, obviously, they're bringing up families. They've had other priorities. And I guess once they get that empty nest syndrome, they can start doing things for themselves.
Well, that's right, Mike. And I think especially for women that have found that all their life they've been a partner, a wife, a mother, and all of a sudden the kids grow up and they decide to go and do their own thing. They're driving, they're independent. The husband or partner, you know, has his weekend golfing or surfing. And then all of a sudden you sort of find yourself sitting there thinking, well, what am I going to do? The stimulation, women do need to be stimulated. They need something in their life to keep them going. And what I found was that women have an innate ability to do many things. We're creators. We create life. So innately we're able to do so many great things, and all we need to do is understand what it is that we love and be able to harness that and bring that out to the world. And that's what my purpose is to show women and to help women find what it is they love and then be able to monetize it so that they can create a life for themselves, but not even just a life. It's more about creating a purpose for them, something that gets them out of bed and gives them that life and you know, gives them that inspired energy.
And it was interesting at the event that you ran, when was it? Was that November last year?
It was
towards the
end of November. Yeah.
What was interesting looking around the room was the varied age group that you had. I mean, you had everything from what I would say just older teens right through to more mature ladies in the 60s and even 70s. And all of them were able to sort of resonate, all of the stuff. It was interesting. I'm a great people watcher, and I saw a lot of nodding heads. So what you were doing, you've obviously studied, I guess you've used a lot of your own experience to sort of help these women to find themselves, as it were.
Look, I think I've had a huge experience in business. I mean, traditionally growing up in a Greek family, you do the Greek thing and you work in your parents' fish and chip shop. So from the age of 9 and 10, that was my weekend. That was my holiday time. That was my after-school time. Sure. I was at the shops, serving behind the counter, and I grew very quickly to love that whole environment of that business scene. And my parents were very hard workers, but were not very smart in business as much as, you know, they provided for us very well. So I could see things as I grew up, things that I could do better. And then my quest started. So I've owned and started a lot of business in my lifetime. I mean, I know I only look like 20, but
18, I thought, really, but anyway.
Oh, thank you, Mike. So that's what fueled me. You know, women, not only women, but people have this misconception that, you know, to do something in life, you have to have a degree or you have to be educated. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. And of course, it's an important thing. but you can't buy experience.
No, exactly. And this is what I get frustrated. I have a lot of people coming in here and they've reached that, not quite retirement age, but they've come out of the rat race of the corporate sector or whatever, but they can't get employment. And what they've had to do, they've had to take their age, they've had to take the date of birth off the CV because people will write them off. And you just said it, you cannot buy that experience. And it's so sad that there's a lot of very experienced men and women out there who just can't find a purpose because people won't take a chance on them.
Yeah, and it's not even that. Until, to find your purpose, you need to know who you are. You need to know what you love. And to be able to do that, you need to be able to slow down and really take a look at yourself. And we don't like to do that because we see too many things that we don't like. So it's just easier for us to go existing rather than living. And I guess for me, to be able to wake up one day and go, look, I'm going to Europe for 3 months, or I'm taking the kids and going to Hawaii, or we're going, that's living. It's about having the choices. And to have that, you have to have financial freedom. And starting a business doesn't need to mean that you have to start in a great big whirlwind of spending thousands, and you can start off small.
Oh, there's so many home-based businesses now. I mean, I know because we have one. But what would you say to anybody listening this morning that's going, oh, Maria, that sounds wonderful. I'd love to take the kids to Hawaii, but I've got 3 kids. I'm a single mum. I work 20 hours a day just to survive. How can they get out of that mindset of this is it, this is all that it's going to be for the next 20 years until the last of the children have left home? How can you persuade them that actually they can improve themselves?
That's a really great question.
I know, that's why I asked it.
Yes, Mike, and that's why you're amazing at what you do. But I see that all the time, and I hear that all the time. And it's not about, it's about being able to firstly understand and discover what it is that fuels you. Now, when you understand that, people then don't see how they can turn that into a business. I'm going to give an example if I could.
Sure, absolutely.
Mary was a single mum and loved Spanish dancing. That was her passion. She'd go and learn and she'd love to dance. And when I spoke to her, it was like, well, how can you turn that into a business? And she said, well, you can't. I can't see how it can be, how you can do it. I just love it and that's enough for me. But little Mary then had a few little lessons and started to understand and learn about business, started to understand what systems were, how to package, promote. And now what she does is she actually takes women's groups to Spain to learn how to flamenco dance. Now, it took her a few years to be able to create the living that she wanted. At first, it just paid her trip, but you know what? It was a holiday she never had.
Absolutely. And had she not thought about, how can I at least cover my expenses, which is fantastic. Maria, I could talk to you for hours, but obviously we can't sort of keep you in the studio for hours. If people are interested, in finding out a little bit more and finding out where you are, how do they communicate with you? I'm guessing there's a Facebook page.
I do. I have a Facebook page, and my brand new website goes live on Friday this week.
Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? Get the new website up,
and you'll see all of Mike's amazing videoing because
you're good. I didn't pay her for this, people.
But yeah, I'd love people to come visit on the website if they have any questions or they want to know anything about anything. I'm happy just to have a chat. It's just about getting women together, bringing them out of their comfort zone, and allowing them to believe that there is possibility to create something in their life.
Sounds great. So if you want to contact Maria, it's Maria Lidis. Very quickly, Maria, before we let you go, you had to change your name, didn't you?
My God. Yes, I did, Mike.
Why was that?
Well, my name, and proudly of it, is Maria Lidis. And one thing I do in business is have a business coach because, of course, they keep me, you accountable and whatever. And he just, apart from the fact he couldn't pronounce it, he just looked at it and he went, oh, my God, we have to change this. So we used the last 5 letters of Lidis and it became Lidis. So it's just easier to pronounce and a bit softer to the ear.
And absolutely, but isn't that amazing that, you have to do stuff like that because nowadays people struggle if it's got any more than 2 syllables. Oh, no, I can't pronounce that name. But I think it's wonderful. Anyway, good luck. If anybody wants a little bit more, if you missed the details, then you can give us a shout here. Lorraine will have Maria Maria's details, and you can give us a ring at 101 FM, and we will put you and Maria in touch with each other. 3808 1101. Thank you for bringing a ray of sunshine into our studio this morning, Maria, and wishing you luck in 2017. It's going to be a big year for you.
Thank you, Mike. Looking forward. Thanks for having me on the show. Love what you're doing for women and for men out there.
Bless you.